she's in there a while, and I completely forget about it. And then I see her walk out. And I'm like, yeah, she had to poop. 2 minutes later.
That's not good everybody for Anthony Eugenio. We're going to have a next time. Very funny. Wayne Russell, everybody.
Welcome to the Open Mic Pain with Anthony and Wayne podcast.
Why, hello everybody, welcome to an Open Mic Pain with Anthony and Wayne. I'm here today with my co-host in shame, Wayne Russell. That was the best I got because he's a piece of shit and it's Christmas, so I'm trying to be good about it. How you doing, Wayne?
I'm doing pretty good.
I'm excited. Shut up. Way more excited for be past Wayne and on to the guest. Sorry, I had this all planned, Wayne. You stepped all over it. Because this guy we've run into at a couple mics, and he's always my favorite act of the night every time I've seen him. So we wanted to have him on. It's Richie T. How you doing, brother?
Doing good, Anthony. How you doing, man?
Good. It's great to have you on. All right, Wayne. Sorry, resume.
No, that's it. I have to second that sentiment. There's a short list of people that I get excited when I go to a mic and I see that are there or walk in, and you were at the top of that list. We saw you at the point the other night. I saw you walk in. I got so excited. I was like, damn, Richie's here. It's always a good time when you show up. So thank you for coming on.
Vice versa. We got a good little thing going. Us small group here.
Yeah,
sure. We do. It's always
fun.
Great when Richie goes on because getting shit on by Richie is like there's some people where you go up there and they shit on people in the crowd sometimes, like do crowd work, and you're like, God damn it, this guy's gonna go up there and shit. I mean, it's gonna hurt. Richie goes up there, you're like, oh please shit on me. Look at my face, because it's always so funny when he goes across it. When did you start comedy, Richie?
Actually 2 years this month.
Wow, there you go.
2 years. Yeah.
We're
Still in it for some reason.
How did that come about? Like, what got about? Were you a comedy fan before, or did you? One story we get a lot is somebody was just walking by going, "Oh, open mic, cool, I'll try that."
Yeah. It wasn't that. I didn't even know what an open mic was. I'm 58 years old, so I'm one of the old timers in this whole game here that we're doing. Long story short, there's a gene pool of some funny folks in my family. Just got into a lot of trouble in high school making others laugh. That was always my thing. And my poor son, my 28-year-old son, had the same problem, thrown out of class all the way through. So we got a lot of wise asses in the family. So that was there, and I was on the short story long. I was on the Boston casting.com, looking maybe for a little extra role with a tough guy, looking for a greaser, some sort of little extra just for some fun. I was on that for like 5 years, and all of a sudden, Mike Katrobis' comedy class popped up, and I said, geez, I'm going to give this a shot. And there was, 10 or 12 of us in that class. And the first time I went up there, Mike liked the first, my first run, so I kind of stayed with it.
So that was the first time me and you met. Was the hosting class Mike put on?
That was another one I did. I've probably done 3 or 4 classes. Yeah.
You stuck in my mind, and we just talked about this with Dobie Maxwell last week. You stuck in my mind that night because of the runs we were doing of the practicing the openings of hosting a show. And Mike was like, "Don't swear. You're supposed to be a likable guy. This or that. Do the 3 things. Shut your phone off. Keep table time. And the first thing you do is go, we're here to have a fucking good time. Keep your fucking phones on low, on silent." It's just completely the opposite of what Mike said. And you had everybody in tears. And at that point, I was like, dude, this guy is fucking awesome.
Yeah, Mike.
And then I saw you go on stage later that night, and it just cemented it.
Yeah, that's why we're not really getting any bookings, because I'm not really following the rules. You got to kind of have a set. And Mike has told me this 1,000 times, so I have to get to a set where it's the same set. And I have a hard time with that because I just like playing around up there. The stuff you saw the other night, I mean, a lot of that I'm just pulling out of my ass, but you can't do that. Mm-hmm. You're not going to get booked because these guys need to know what you're going to say. But I'm getting closer. Right now I'm having fun. And
that's what it's all about, really.
It is. And the bonus part of this whole thing, which I didn't anticipate, is 2 things. The camaraderie is great. I'm meeting some, which is great people. Mm-hmm. Humble hard guys who go 5-10 years not making any money, driving hours. It's just I'm very impressed with what I'm seeing, and I can connect with a lot of these guys, and we're helping each other. The other bonus is I didn't realize that I have to work at this, which is another challenge. So it's always good to that to put the time in, and I need to get better at that. I'm trying to do 20 minutes by myself in my cellar, basement, whatever. Just trying to put the reps in, and so I can I'm trying to get better. The long story short, I'm trying to back off of harassing the bookers. I'm backing off. I need to spend some time getting better, figure this thing out, and then I'll start aggravating these guys again.
That's a tough part. Me and Anthony have talked recently. What you saw me do last night or a couple nights ago was my first go at a completely clean set. I've never done that, and I realize that's a really important thing if you want to get noticed by bookers. So I put a really big emphasis on that. So I feel your pain.
Yeah.
I make sure that I say cunt in all of the booking tapes that I send out. So every time I send out a booking tape, cunt's in there somewhere. Because I don't want them to be surprised. I don't want them to be like, oh my God, that guy's dirty. I'm like, listen, I literally sent it to you in the tape. So
I like that. Well,
don't be surprised.
So you're not getting a lot of comedies in the church, some of the church comedy acts, are you?
I specialize in it. It's called the Cunty Church Troop. I got all of us in there. They need a little bit of that. I feel like I went to a born-again Christian church when I was like 11 or 12 years old.
Oh, yeah?
And those were the funniest people I'd ever met to this day, were those guys. They just got really mad when you said cunt. But you grow up and you realize that's the funnier avenue.
So you saw Mike's class, and obviously you took it. So you had never been on stage before. You took that class, and then
That was it.
I'm assuming it's like other ones where it was a multi-week class, and you had a showcase at the end.
Exactly right. Yep. Yeah.
So a cool way to experience doing stand-up for the first time is to like get a good showcase like that even years into your stand-up career, those will still be the best shows that you do are those ones. So like, for instance, my first show was at a dive bar in Portland, Maine, and they hated me so bad. And there was like 4 of them. And then I still went back afterwards and did more comedy, which is incredible to me nowadays. But I couldn't imagine if the first set I went up to was like a packed Wicked Funny. I don't know how you do comedy after that, because you're just like, man, chasing that high forever.
It's tough. 70 people in the audience.
It's awesome.
That to this day, we just hit our 9 months. That to this day was probably my most exciting moment, minus the first time stepping on stage. But that was the coolest moment I think that I've had so far doing this.
Yeah, it's a high.
It really is. So, did you have any like background in like watching comedy? Do you have any? I mean, you saw the class. You obviously must have been like, I can do that. But did you have any inspirations or like anybody that you watched growing up that you kind of pulled from, or?
Not really. I was told a couple times that I'm coming across as a little bit of the Bill Burr. Just a little bit. That came up twice actually. Some of these open mics. So no, I'm just starting out to watch more. I went to Seinfeld last week in Foxwoods.
Oh, did you really? How was that?
Yeah.
He blows.
I wasn't loving
That's
it.
what it comes down to. Like nowadays, unfortunately,
I wasn't loving
I
it.
have a really a lot of respect for him for
Yeah.
the
When
way
he's
he
done, it's
crafts his
great.
jokes.
Yeah.
But I just don't really find him as funny anymore. Back in the
Exactly.
day,
Yeah.
his "I'm Telling You for the Last Time" album I thought was hilarious. It's great. But now, kind of seeing how the sausage is made, I'm kind of like, I mean, he's really good, but it's not my type of humor, I guess.
You know what? I think that was the problem, because there's some people in it that were cracking up, but it's just, and I watched Raymond, I don't know, 15 years ago in Atlantic City, and I was pissing myself laughing. I guess I'm more of that dry sense of humor. I don't know. I watched Stephen Wright probably 25 years ago in Worcester. I mean, like I said, I got 50, 60 years on you guys.
Yeah.
So Stephen Wright, hysterical. obviously George Carlin. I mean, just that, just let it all out kind of shit I love. But no, I don't. I don't think I had any. I wasn't. Looking at this at 5 years old, saying, "Shit, I want to be a comedian."
It's funny
You
though. I
know.
can hear all of them in your style. Like when I hear you go up there, like I can hear Stephen Wright, I can hear George Carlin, like all those
Hmm.
influences that you have on you meld into like a really, like that's why we like you so much, is because I think that you have natural ability like those guys do. I think from hearing what they have, and again having the life experience that you do, seeing Stephen Wright so long ago. But yeah, a one-liner and also a guy who's got a good rant in him. It's a perfect combination.
Thanks, thanks for the compliment, man. Well, one more
Yeah,
year. One more year.
Yeah, exactly. Every compliment is 35 cents.
Well, then we make it the open mic.
yeah, no kidding. So, what are you still working? What do you do for work?
I
What
am
did you
a
do?
self-employed financial advisor.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
That's pretty
So
cool.
28 years.
That's
Yeah.
that's a big difference from yucks on
Yeah.
stage.
Yeah. But it's,
I would
but
do
there's a
whatever
lot.
you fucking told me to do when it came to any kind of advice because I think you'd be like, do it, and I'd be like, all right. Like,
Yeah,
there's no way.
that's
It'd be
something else,
aggressive.
Richie. I've seen your Instagram.
Uh-oh.
Were you in competitions?
Yeah, it was. Last one was 2018. That was it. Yeah.
Damn.
Age
Yeah.
24 to 52 years old is my last one.
What
Damn.
kind of competitions? What are we talking about?
Bodybuilding.
Get the
What?
fuck out of here.
Yeah.
I never told you to check out his Instagram.
No, I don't
Man,
have the
it's
social.
not,
I don't know the internet. I'm not on there.
yeah, that's true.
Do I have the internet?
No,
That's
no, no
crazy.
internet for me.
Well, it
That's so
didn't get me.
crazy.
Didn't make me
Well,
any
I
money
mean,
at the beginning.
transfer of porn, but
Which, right?
if that had social media, I'd be fucking liking everything. That's so. You said 24. You started bodybuilding.
24, did a bunch 24, 25, 26, I think. And then I got married at 28, like a dumbass. No, I'm kidding. She saved my life. I don't know where I would be right now. I was a loose cannon. And then raised the
Damn.
kids. Yeah, raised the kids. And then one day, 2011, I'm 47 years old. Last one I did was 26. My son, who's 16, says, "Hey, Dad, I want to get a six pack. What do I do?" I said, "You got to do this, that, and that." I said, "Matter of fact, I'm going to do it with you." After 4 weeks, I started looking pretty good. He stopped because he just got his license. They started going to Hooters and, you know, started eating like a slob. But he went off the way. I stayed with it. I started looking pretty good. I said, "Fuck it, I'm going back up on stage." So I did one at 11, took a few years off, went back on, and did three or four more and called it a day.
Yeah, that's
Wow.
awesome.
On to something else now. I do martial arts now. I couldn't. Last one was 52. There was some issues that made me nervous with that boy. You got to drop. It's got nothing to do with comedy, but since you asked, I love talking about it. You go from a buck 90 to a buck 55 in about 12 weeks in weight to get on stage, and then 3 weeks
Wow.
later you're right back to 190. Not very healthy.
It's like a wrestling diet.
Okay. Yeah. So, anyways,
What do you do for
that's
martial arts now?
you ever hear of Krav Maga?
Yeah,
I do that.
combination of a lot of things.
I stopped. Yeah, I stopped bodybuilding. I still work out, but bodybuilding was 52. And then I started the martial arts at 52. So I've been doing that 6 or 7 years now.
Now you don't have to reveal, but everything you've described so far sounds like that you have an arch nemesis that you've been training your whole life to kill. Because it sounds like you've been bodybuilding, getting ready, and now this. Who are you trying to murder? You got a lot of skills.
I got a list, man.
You got a list, yeah.
I got the shit list, man. Stay on my good side.
Yeah, I knew that. Like, what's crazy is like you just got to talk to you for a couple minutes, and you're like, I don't. He knows Krav Maga.
Nah,
He'll
not
fuck
that
you
tough.
up.
Not that tough. Get my ass kicked. You got an ex-con that's a real violent son of a bitch. It go up like an animal.
Mm.
Good luck. Good luck to me. You hope the skills come into play, but that's a whole different mentality. I'm having fun right now, and it's good. It's good. It's. I don't want to sit in the couch at my age. I'm afraid of sitting drinking beer every night like most guys that are 58 years old after work. So my goal is to get the fuck off the couch, whether it's an open mic or in the studio working out martial arts. That's the real secret.
Yeah, it sure is. Do you think that because we've asked musicians this question, but we've never asked a bodybuilder. Do you think that your experience on stage bodybuilding translates any way to your stand up, like whether it comes to stage presence, anything like that?
Yeah, all that plays in confidence. My job that I do a lot of presenting.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, those two things I think definitely help. Sure. Yeah.
I could completely see that because I have to like when I'm on stage, a big portion of what I'm trying to do is not look like a dickhead because I'm always looking at the ground. I'm always probably presenting like a dumbass. And I imagine to have more innate skills in the background where you're not thinking about it as much because it's just natural to you. That's got to be a huge boost.
Yeah, I feel pretty comfortable up there. I had one or two bad episodes, but that was probably only two that I've had in the last 2 years where I kind of got in my own head. But that's never happened again. You got to go up there with the mentality, and I read because I do a lot of reading on the mind, and one of it is you got to kind of almost guarantee in your head success. You're visualizing a positive outcome at all times, all day. You go even before you go up there. You never ever put any kind of negative thought in your head that you're gonna fuck up or fail. If you consistently think positive and visualize a good experience, it'll play out.
I did that before the burn and I ate shit.
Oh shit! Yeah, yeah. The burn. Oh, it's
Yeah,
solvable.
yeah. We did the burn the week after you did.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
And yeah, and I ate shit pretty bad.
He did.
But
It's
it was
good.
also it was a learning episode.
yeah,
Not
yeah,
everybody wants to hear about your dick.
That's
yeah,
true. You did talk about it confidently. But Richie's right. There's a
yeah. Live and learn.
I so yesterday I went to Portland, Maine, and I had two sets in one night, and I'm getting ready for a show in January at Stubbs
Dynamite.
Brewery. Everybody, January 13th. Check that shit out.
Little plug.
And
Yeah,
that's a good plug, right? And I did the same set twice, and one joke from each set popped differently because of how I presented it. And I realized that it's literally, if you don't have confidence in the bit 100% as you're saying it, you lose
yep,
the people
yep,
almost 100% of the time.
yep.
And I think getting to that level of confidence, like you're talking about, where you're like all day going, like, I know this is funny, this is going to do good, and I'm going to sell it like it's going to do good,
Yeah,
that might be half the battle.
yeah,
You definitely have to have confidence in what you're saying because like if we've talked about it before. If you're kind of half-assing your delivery because you're not sure that somebody's going to like it,
yep,
you're definitely going to put out that negative energy versus the positive, right?
yeah.
Yeah, I'd put
So
Richie and Justin George into that category where I've seen them both go. Like Richie said, sometimes he goes up there out of his ass to do comedy, and it still is 5 minutes of hilarity. Justin's the same way. I think I can't, like, I never have that in me to just go up there and be like, I don't fucking know. I'm just going to fuck around. I'm always structured, and that leads to a lot of the time, if I'm having a bad set, you can watch the tape over and see me just like kind of like I'm just going through the motions because it's not going well.
Yeah,
Where I think definitely you and Justin don't have because you're ready on the fly to just switch into something else or do something different or move on to improv, get the
yeah.
energy up, maybe throw in back in material, and that's a pro comic move for sure.
Thank you, man. Yeah.
Richard, you ever had to deal with an obnoxious heckler?
Uh,
I want to say like
I'm,
maybe kind of like the lady from the other night, but maybe a little worse.
oh, jeez. I have not, but I seen a real bad episode about 2 months ago up in New Hampshire. Almost turned into fisticuffs. To a lady
Really?
comedian, yeah, lady comedian, lady customer, and it was heating up. But that was pretty scary. I'm trying to figure out what I would do in that situation. I don't know. No, I have not. I try to stay
Hmm.
away from it. All the shit that Mike Controllers will tell you, you stay away from the crowd. There's a lot of things that go bad.
Yeah, yeah.
And if somebody says something is, trying to be funny, and once in a while, like I did a little thing on the Winner's Circle. I try to do that one Tuesday a month up there.
Hmm.
And my whole thing was talking about the holidays. I'm picking on the holidays. Family sucks, and I love this was during Halloween. Halloween's great because no family around. But talk about Easter. Easter sucks. I can't eat meat. Christmas sucks. Buying $1,000 worth of gifts. Nobody gives a shit. We got some big fat creepy guy, usually an ex-con pedophile. He said on his lap. I pick it on the holidays, and I go, I think I hit them all. One lady says, "You missed Valentine's Day." So that was great. I just got to pick on Valentine's Day. The guys don't really give a fuck about Valentine's Day, lady. And she, but it was that was the closest I got to a heckler. Now,
Yeah.
you ever get one?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we get heckled a little,
Yeah.
bit.
It wasn't really so much a heckler. A while back in Salem, there was a lady that was just talking through everybody's sets, and she continued to do it through mine. And I was doing this joke called Richard the Gay Ghost about being haunted by a gay ghost. And I tried to bring the crowd in a little bit. And I said, has anybody here ever seen a ghost before? And the room was just silent, including that lady who was talking the entire time. So I just looked at her. I was like, really? You've been talking for like 10 comics and you can't fucking say you saw a ghost for me? What the fuck? And I just kind of like berated her a little bit, which was not.
Good though.
I don't. I don't think so. But she hated me. I went up and I was like, hey, sorry about that. Thanks for being a sport. And she turned her back to me, and I was like, all right, cool. But I don't care about that. But
Yeah.
that's probably the worst. I'm not really great at dealing with heckles, per se, or talkers. Like the lady the other night talking to her in my set. She yelled out like RPG, and I'm like, I don't know what that means. I don't even know what to say to make that funny in response, other than either don't say anything or just say I have no idea what you're talking about, lady. But in the after everything, I'm driving around going, oh, it was like George Costanza with the shrimp, like the I should have said the jerk store called. They ran out of you. I'm just driving around like, damn it, I should have said that.
Should have come up with something, right?
Yeah.
That is a little bit different than me and Wayne's comedy. Like I love that. Like I welcome I'm very good on my feet with people when they're talking. So it's a nice welcome change when that happens.
Yeah, it's a skill.
I saw there's a guy out west. He's
Yeah.
opening a chain of comedy stores called Crowdwork, where they don't allow prepared material.
Oh, really?
Ooh,
Yeah,
like
so
that.
if you're a comic and you're going up, you have to. It's off the fly. You got to interact with the audience and just kind of go off the fly.
It's kind of cool.
That is cool.
That is cool, and that'll be
Is
good
it an
for a
open
lot of
mic
people.
or is it booked?
I think it's an open mic.
Oh my god, we gotta go do that.
Got to go to California though.
I think it's like Vegas and California, and I think there was one other thing.
Oh,
Road
I thought you
trip-
said out
road
west,
trip,
meaning like
guys.
Worcester.
No, out west in the country.
See how much of a Massachusetts hick I am? I'm like, out west? You mean all the way to Worcester?
All the way to Worcester. Yeah, no, a little further west. A little further. Keep on going. You should do a road trip though. Hit Vegas. See what's going on.
Yeah.
Some guys are doing a little traveling that I know.
Yeah. There's a
I'd love
bunch
to
of
go
guys
to
that just
Austin and try to get on that Comedy Mothership open mic. That'd be cool. Be a cool little trip.
How hard do you think that is, though? There's got to be a shit ton of people trying to get on that.
I bet.
Never
I
heard
know
of
that they have opened like 6 clubs in the vicinity area. Well, I shouldn't say open, but we're already there, a lot of them. So I think there's a high opportunity to be able to do some mics down there. And also high chance that you're going to run into one of the best comedians in the world somewhere down there
Is that
because
right?
they're all living in that city doing that stuff now. So that's a bucket list one for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Is that L.A.?
No, Austin.
Oh, Texas. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I wanted to ask you a little bit about the class you took with Mike, the first one, the comedy class. What So you saw that, you decided to do it. At the end of that was your first time. Did you do any open mics
No.
in between, or
Oh,
so you-
well, after the class, that was my first time I went up. There was a class 2 years ago.
Yeah.
After that, I started. I started doing some open mics. Green Dragon.
Mhm.
And Cam just started the point. What, 6-8 months ago, maybe?
Oh, is that it?
I
Yeah,
don't
it's
think
about
it's been that long.
Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't realize that. I thought that was like a staple.
Yeah, I just feel comfortable there at his place, Green Dragon. The same group of guys, just kind of camaraderie, and
Mhm.
we help each other, like us. And the other one is just the winner's circle up in Salisbury, but you got to get on that list, and you can only do one Tuesday a month. You can't go
Yeah.
up. You know what I mean? I don't know if you've been up there or not, but
Mhm.
There's some heavy hitters up there. Justin McKinney, he tries out his stuff up there.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, last time I went there, Steve Bjork was on the lineup with me, and he's hilarious. So that was really cool to watch him go
nice
up.
guy.
Yeah,
Nice
it was
guy.
he's awesome, but two,
Yeah.
it was awesome to see. It was the first time I ever was on a show where, when everybody's eating shit on a show, and it is what it is on the night. Everybody's eating shit up there. That was one of those nights of the winner circle. First six people, not one laugh. I think out of everybody, just silence.
Oh,
And
oh,
then Steve went up, and I saw him completely turn the room around. Like where he's like, "Oh, this room's dead. Let me bring it to life." Where I could see the purposeful jokes he put in to bring up the laughter. Then he
yeah.
got into new material and kept it going. And I was like, "Oh man, there's levels to this fucking game, that's for sure."
That's pretty cool though.
Yeah,
You can definitely see some people out there, and Steve's a little bit of a different animal because he's a pro. But there's people you can see out there at the open mics where they just kind of make you feel like a child in a diaper.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
a lot of these guys have been at it many, many years too, though. I'm starting
Yeah.
to find out. 5, 10 years in, it's a year or two. We got some work to do. The more and more you
Yeah,
get
yeah,
up
no
there,
kidding.
the more comfortable we're going to be. And just don't
it
know what
does
the
seem
end
to
game is.
correlate to time. Except sometimes someone's like, "I've been doing comedy for 15 years," and you're like, "Oh." But but most of the time, when someone is really good, they've got time in the game. It's very rare that we see someone go up and they're like 6 months in. You're like, "Holy shit, that guy sounds pro." Just
Hmm.
No,
it just
no,
takes reps. It just takes fucking time.
like
Do you
everything
remember?
else.
Like you said, Rich, a lot of the stuff you do is improv when you go up there. But was there a first joke that you came up with that you were like, "This is why I want to do comedy"?
Uh, really wasn't that. No, I mean, when I went up to, the controllers class again 2 years ago, everybody had to go up there and just tell a story, say something funny kind of thing. And what he said, one kid was 19 years old. He said, "Dude, you don't have much because you haven't been around long. A guy who works at a grocery store. All right, now what do you got there, right? Well, I go up there. I got 58 years of life experience. I got a lot of shit. Married 30 years. So my first story was I just got out back from Italy. My son got married out there. There was a ton of shit going on with that fucked up trip. With 17 Italians, a great trip. And I should say fucked up trip, but there's a lot of coming home. I ended up finding out there was bats in my house. I don't know. I started talking about this shit. The first thing I do was figure out how to get rid of the bats. First day home from Italy. But there was a lot of this stuff, and it really wasn't one joke. It was just like, the way Mike introduced me to that showcase when I was done was he goes, man, the guy can tell a story. So I guess I'm a good storyteller, but I don't think it's one
Storyteller
joke.
comic.
I got experience because I've been around the planet in a long time. So there's a lot of shit I know and seen and been through, which helps.
This week's episode of Open Mic Pain, sponsored by Jesus.
Oh, hi, everybody. My name's Teddy, and I'm the pedophile ringleader for the church. I just wanted to bring you guys a PSA about how we're going to get the children to come into the church so as we can take them. And so far, I think our biggest roadblock has been the communion wafers. They taste like my taint. So we have now a new product that we're selling called Jesus! So Jesus is a particularly good cracker that is full of cheddar that children will be attracted to. That's exactly what we're going for here. And we can still bless it as the body of our Lord. Because when it goes into a child's mouth, it's great to think that it's the body of a man. Because that's what Jesus is about. For some reason, that's exactly what Jesus is about. And this isn't a parody at this point. I am literally verbatim talking about the religion. This is exactly what they say. So we need to get Jesus so that we can take this oven-baked cracker and stick it inside of a oven.
Yeah, I've started reading this book called The Comedy Bible, written by Judy Carter.
Yeah, I'm in the middle of it too. Great book.
Oh, are you? Yeah, yeah. So I mean, you know what I'm probably going to say here, but I've just started. I'm maybe 60 pages in, but I'm at a part now. You know, they have different exercises that you do, and she has you write out different things about your life, where you are in life, whether you're married and have a kid, the different jobs you've had, the all stuff like that. Um, and it's not so much finding something that's funny; it's finding the funny in something.
Hmm. Yeah.
And
Yep.
that was kind of a different way to look at it. You
Very
know,
true. Yeah.
yeah. And then when you have 58 years of experience, you have 58 years of the somethings.
There's
Then
a
it's just
lot
finding
there.
the funnies. Yeah. Yeah, I was a shut in most of my life, so I don't have a lot of experiences.
No? Living with,
But
living with your
it's
parents
amazing how
for
your
many years?
brain. It's amazing how your brain flips that switch though when you are looking for the funny. When something happens to you, you're like, oh, what's the what?
It's just you're like I didn't have a lot of experiences, and I'm like, yeah, well, 15 of your 18 minutes is about dicks. So you are talking
What do
about
you
what you know.
what do you think I was doing in between video gaming?
Yeah, no, everybody knows.
Is your life experience?
But but
Shoot.
it is funny how your brain flips a switch and now everything that happens to you, you're like, I could probably use that. I could probably use that, and then your notebook or your notepad and your phone just starts growing and growing, and it's
Yeah.
wild.
Kind of cool, isn't it? Because
It
you
is.
start
It's a
thinking
fun
like
process.
like a comedian, like you've never done that before in your life. Now you're kind of trying to find
Yeah.
stuff. And there's a lot out there.
Do you have like a notepad or a note app in your phone that you use, or do you just come home? Yep, just all day long. That's what I do too.
I
I'll be
got
in the car and just like leave a customer. I'll just pop in my phone and just write something down.
that's it.
But,
Stays there. I'll review that before I go to open mic. I'll go through a few things. Say, hey, what do I want to throw up here today?
hmm
And some old stuff, new stuff. Try to figure out if I can make people laugh. Then I come out of there with a high. It's all about the high,
Yep.
you know. 'Cause I don't do
Yep.
drugs. This is my drug,
Yep.
you know.
Yep.
But it sucks if you don't have people laugh. And
So we're
sometimes
working on our next bomb episode, so we know the pain.
next bomb episode, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, if you don't come with the energy, and that's happened to me a couple times, I've been knocked out during the day. It doesn't matter. Then I should fucking turn around and go home. If I can't bring the energy, it ain't gonna happen. That happened a couple times. I look back like, what the fuck was I doing up there?
Yep.
But 9 o'clock at night's tough too.
Sure is.
You go all day. I don't know. There's no excuse, but I come down a couple of guys like, where the hell were you? That wasn't even you tonight. A couple of guys led. Where's your energy?
hmm
But yeah, it's fun business. I don't know. I mean, I guess I'm trying to figure out why most people are doing this. So they really want to become famous. They're having fun. I thought some people, I'm just good. A couple guys like, I'm just good with open mics. Um, versus some folks trying to make a living at it. You know.
That was something Dobie Maxwell asked us last week. Was I think he said everybody should ask themselves that question. What do you want? What are you looking for? Are you looking to be famous, or are you looking to be a comedian, or what?
Who do you think, though? Have you ever heard a single person say, like, I would like to do comedy because I want to be famous? Like, I've never heard somebody say that. Like, I can understand saying I want to make a living out of it because it's be cool for this to be a job, but that's a little bit more abstract of a thought.
Yeah.
I think, to me, it's just fun to... It's like playing a video game and getting to the next level, you know what I mean? Like, it's just you want to... There's a level above it. I want to see what that is. And then you get there and you get comfortable, and you want to see what the level above that is. And that's just...
That's it. That's
human
all about
life.
growth. That's what life's all about. That's right. Right now we're like, yellow belts, and you go from white belt to yellow to green to purple, whatever, right? I look at myself as a yellow belt now. And I'm trying to get back, get up there, get to the green maybe, and when you get better, you get confident. Now it's fun, right? Because nobody wants to suck in anything, but you have to suck. When anybody starts anything, you got to suck.
Mm-hmm.
You don't start out of the gate. I bet you Larry Bird and Brady probably sucked the first time he picked up a ball.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so
I
it's
did.
the challenge.
I did jujitsu after high school, and I remember the first 2 months. Every time I went home, my face was just black and blue. And my brother was like, "Are you going to some sort of quasi-gay sex cult where they're beating you up or something like that?" Because that's what it looked like. And I was
Holy
like, yes,
cow.
it's called jujitsu. And
Cow.
there's no, it's just like stand up, actually, which is great in that regard. There's no
Yeah.
faking it, jujitsu. You are just going to get your ass kicked by every single person in the room. And then one by one, you can start ascending up the room because new people come in. It's the same thing in stand up where you see guys
Yeah.
in their first week and you're like, man, that's what I sounded like my first week too. I sounded just like that up there. And you just want to let them know because in the moment you can never tell somebody like, wait till you see yourself in 6 months and it's going to be a completely different experience. That's impossible to feel that way when you're in the moment. Even now, like I'll get 3 good sets and I'll be like, I'm the greatest fucking comic that there ever goddamn was. And I will go to a place and just silence the whole time. And the best part about it is I'll know why it happens now, which is nice. It's pretty like and now I'm never like, oh, what the hell was that? Why did it happen? There's always reasons and intricacies that you have to get better at. Nuances, really, is what it comes to. And comedy's such a nuanced game. Like we had, I'll talk one more time. We were in Portland last night, and we went
Yeah.
with Justin, and we had such a good set the first place that we went to, and such a bad set the second place, and there was heckling in the second place that we didn't handle well. All kinds of stuff that happened, and I know that a better comic has 2 good sets that night. So that's what we're trying to really nail
The,
down.
the funny thing about heckling, so we'll go back to the point on Tuesday. We record all of our sets, and I was listening back to that, and I could hear the lady on stage. I heard everything she said. What I didn't hear until I listened back to it on the phone was her boyfriend making fun of me so hard.
No. Oh,
Yeah, so he was
He
like
called you
making little
handsome, didn't he?
comments. No. So I did the thing where I was like, "Oh, this isn't a dad bod, blah blah blah." The girl goes, "You look good," and the guy goes, "Hot, so hot." And I said, "Yeah, I've given up." He goes, "That's apparent." I was like, "Ooh, Jesus
Jesus.
Christ!"
Well, I'll say this: that seemed like his. So I called him Unsilent Bob because he looked like Silent Bob from Jane Silent Bob, but he fucking wouldn't shut the fuck up. And his girlfriend, well, it seemed like his girlfriend. We saw later. Well, Wayne did. He noticed get
Oh.
railroaded in the bathroom
oh,
by a completely different guy. So
It was great. So I don't know if you looked at that table at all, but there was the woman and then the guy she was with that was dressed up in the suit, and then there was another guy with them who I think was a friend. When
yeah.
Cam kicked them out and sent them downstairs, they stayed downstairs, and Anthony, Justin, and I went downstairs a little bit before everything ended, and we were just kind of chatting about our sets and stuff. And I'm facing the bathroom, and those two are facing me. And I see the girl walk in the bathroom. And I didn't think anything of it. And I'm like, yep, she's probably got to poop. So she's in there a while, and I completely forget about it. And then I see her walk out. I'm like, yeah, she had to poop. 2 minutes later,
No.
2 minutes later, the guy they were with, that was not her boyfriend, opened the door, looked, and then slunk away. And it took me like 5 to 10 seconds, and I went, that
like,
guy
he
got a
had to poop.
blowy.
Outstanding. You're jealous.
Oh,
he was so excited. It was like he saw like a peacock riding a unicorn. He was like, "Oh my god!"
Jesus Christ.
It was the best thing I've ever seen.
Holy
Yeah.
shit. I saw that once in my office like 10 years ago. Disgusting. 2 disgusting people coming out. The same thing, but they weren't good looking at all. It's kind of gross. But I guess what goes on. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's got to be. So I'm not you don't do drugs or drink. I imagine that much, Richie. I don't drink at all, really. And I
Yeah,
can
I've seen a lot of
imagine
that in comedy.
I'm sorry.
I've seen a lot of that lately, and a lot of guys in the comedy they stay away from it.
I I stay away from it for no moral or ethical or like I just don't enjoy the taste of drinking. I love drinking and getting hammered. That's fun, but it's like I don't ever do it because it's I can't. I don't enjoy the process of it. But I imagine that girl did.
I think the reason you're not seeing many, if you follow Facebook Boston Comedy Part 2, they can't afford it. Apparently, they can't afford to support the bars. Yeah,
Don't
Oh,
get
is that
me
right?
going on that again.
yeah. There's a whole thing
yeah.
where people were upset about supporting bars for doing open mics.
Oh,
But
some of that
yeah,
stuff
we'll get
is
into that
like
again.
so annoying. The back and forth is like, come on.
Oh yeah. Yep.
They'll fight over everything. Facebook is a riot. There's a coyote in the neighborhood. Somebody's saying, "What's the matter with coyotes?" The other one's saying, "She killed the." Next thing you know, you got a fight going on. The lady just said, "What's the coyote?" I'm like, "Are you fucking shitting me?"
Yeah.
Yeah, this thing, this is why I don't post anything because I'm too sensitive. I don't want some stranger calling me a piece of shit. Everybody's a POS out there.
I do it in my town Facebook once in a while. They'll start fighting, and I'll just post a meme of somebody like the meme of Michael Jackson at the movies eating the popcorn.
That's a
I just
good one.
post shit like that in there all the time. My
That's
wife's like, they're gonna
classic.
get yeah. My wife's like, you shouldn't do that. It's a small town. They're gonna know who you are. I was like, I don't give a flying fuck.
It
It's
is
fucking
entertaining, though.
hilarious.
It's fucking
amazing.
dangerous though, because it is you. Social media is like you're in traffic, and that feeling that you have where you could be like, I can call this guy's mother the dirtiest word I can think of in the car next to me, because there's a veil of glass in between me. That's social media. The difference is you don't put your fucking car address and where you work like on your car, like so people
That's a
can
good
find
point.
you.
That's a good point.
Yep.
Yeah. I just don't understand all the angry people out there. Do you shit me? I can't believe there's that many people pissed off out there in the world.
I know.
Well, we
It's-
used to be
it's
able to
wild.
burn witches, and we stopped being able to fucking do that, and that was awesome for everybody because it would make the whole town just de-stress. And yeah, a couple people had to go, but that was a good way. Now we don't have any of that, and we have to do it digitally and pretend like we're
Yeah.
going to burn witches at the stake, and
Digitally.
we do.
We
We
do
just
it.
have the witches.
We got the witches in that. Yeah, it's funny.
Yeah,
I
no,
did an
the
open
witches
mic
are
in
the fucking people that
Huh?
go and flirt with girls at Mike's accidentally, and then they get you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that going. Yeah. There was an open mic in Salem I did. The hell's it called? I can't remember. It was right around
Hollow
Hollow
Ground?
ground.
How's Ground. Yeah, did you guys go there?
Yep. Yep. That's where I yelled at the lady.
Oh, really?
Yeah. We're actually going down there, not to Hollow Ground, but we're going to the other one that Allie does, Ginger on Thursday.
Thursday?
10-minute sets, I think it is. Yeah, I think it's like pre-booked, kind of like Cam's thing. But
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if you message her, she'll definitely get you. She does those twice a month, and you get 10 minutes at the Ginger, which is
That's good.
fantastic.
10's good. I need to get up to 10, 15.
Yep.
Everybody's got to try to do better than the 5 that we do. You get used to 5. It's no good.
There's just
Well-
like you get 7s every once in a while for mics, but you rarely get 10. Like the Brick in New Hampshire, which is gone now for hopefully temporarily, is another 10-minute mic, and those are important because you need to. I see why like someone like let's call Dan Cronin or any of those or
Crone.
Steve Bjork. Crone, sorry. And well, Dan Cronin is way more handsome, and we love Dan. If you're listening to Dan, we fucking love you, buddy. But your name's too similar to Dan Cronin. I mix you up all the time. So Dan Crone, Steve Bjork, all that, they tend. I can see why they would go to the Brick and pop into those 10-minute mics because I imagine once you get comfortable doing that, the 5-minute doesn't even feel worth it.
Yeah,
yeah, definitely.
makes sense.
I can see that. That's almost like doing the 3-minute Laugh Boston, which was awesome. But when I don't know that I'd go back there just because of the distance, I guess, for a 3-minute set. I don't know if I would.
I liked it because I like the idea of that being like a, hey, I got an abstract one joke I'm trying to write and figure out. I feel like that's a perfect place to guarantee you're going to get a crowd of real people in front of you. Have you done the Laugh Boston yet, Richie?
Well, where's that? Downtown?
Yeah, that one is in the Westin Hotel near the Seaport. It's a real comedy club that's in there. So like Shane Gillis, last time he was in town, he did that. So it's a real club, and in their lobby they set up this banner, and they have open mics on Thursdays. Controversially, because it's so popular, they were charging comics initially to get in $10, and they give you like a drink ticket for $10, and people were like, "How will I ever survive?" But the great part about it is they sell tickets to the open mic, and when we went last week, all of the seats were taken by real audience members.
Yeah, there had to have been like 15 or 20 people there, right? Sitting in those seats.
Had to be more. I think they set up 25 seats. That's what it looked like, because it was a 5x5 looked like section of it at least.
25 comics?
No, 25 like audience members.
So you just walk in, or you got to, what do you say, pre-book somehow?
No,
Nope,
the
you just
Laugh
walk in.
Boston, it's a bucket
Huh.
system. Yeah, so they have a little bowl that you put your name into, and the host pulls out like three names at a time. So there is that. It's another kind of shitty thing. It's so popular is you could go there and not get on if there is too many people. But they normally it's supposed to be a 5 minute mic. I don't think they're ever going to do that. So they say if it's medium amount of people, they'll do 4 minutes and try to get everybody on. And if there's a shit ton of people, they'll do 3 minutes and try to get everybody on. When we were there, they did everybody, as far as I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, worth it. I mean, anywhere you can get a crowd, man. That's where we're chasing.
Yeah, we don't want one table of, that sucks. One table.
I did that yesterday. Yeah, one table of girls and a bunch of comics only. And the one table of girls, I was like, all right, guys, I only have misogynistic jokes, and it just happens that you are one demographic. So I'm gonna have to try to make this work, and it didn't work.
Didn't work.
It did not work. No.
I wonder why.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Richie, do you feel more comfortable in front of a smaller crowd or a bigger crowd? And I ask because I have an answer for that, which blows my mind. But
I like the bigger crowd. I think kind of bring up your game a little.
Yeah.
What about you?
Yeah. So I was thinking the same thing. I've been thinking about this a lot lately. It's obviously where I'm pretty out there on my Facebook on being trying to be a comic and doing the podcast and all that. But I've had a couple customers of mine find out through the grapevine that I do this, and the question that always comes up is, "Are you nervous in front of large crowds?" And my answer is no, because I'm more nervous in front of small crowds. And I think the reason I've been trying to figure out why. I think the reason is, let's say you have a room full of 10 people, and you make 25% of them laugh, right? So you have 3 people laughing, or 2.5. But if you do like a Wicked
It's a
Funny
midget joke, folks.
Yeah.
It's a midget joke.
If we did like the Wicked Funny, let's say there was 70 people there, 60 people, let's say 60 people, and you make 25% of them laugh, you have 15 people laughing. And it still sounds much more eruptuous, I guess, than the 2 people. I think that's why, because in order to have like a decent laugh with 10 people, you need all of those motherfuckers laughing.
Yeah.
I've never had Wicked Funny like you guys had, but I like the smaller. I like the least amount of people possible, almost. Like, I should caveat this: least amount of people, but still fitting the space properly. So, for instance, if it's like High Fidelity that we did in Portland, there was a bar that people sat at, and then you did stand up behind the bar. There was like an open space with lights on it and all that. So the people on the bar were facing you, which was cool. And, it was a bar. So you could fit 15 people max inside of it, but it was intimate. And I really like the ability to connect. Sometimes if I'm on a bigger stage and people are far away, I can't connect with them at all. And I'm just doing my routine and it feels rehearsed. And I always do shitty at those. When there's less people and they're closer to you, it's just like you're on the water cooler at work and you're telling the story to them and you're engaging into them. And you're like, you say a punchline, like, right? And they can say, yeah. Like, you can feel the conversation you're having. And I like that better because it's easier to do, in my opinion. I think that with people far away with lights on you and you feel like you're just doing it in your car.
Yeah,
That will hopefully change.
Never thought of that. What's that?
I said that'll hopefully change for you. I still stand by. I think the 60, 70 people is way better, especially when you get a good pop.
Right. Yeah, if you're getting it, you know what? We feed off the energy, right? So if there's like the laughter, and if it's a lot of it, then shit, let's face it, that drives us. The juices start flowing, things get easier. But I kind of see what Anthony's saying, and it is a little more interacting with somebody's right there, and you got them smiling right at you. That kind of gets your juices flowing too. And when you got the big spotlight on you with the big crowd, sometimes you can't see shit. I kind of like that too. Kind of blind,
Yeah, but the silence of being blind and then I started at a spot that got a lot of people at it. So when it was a good night, there'd be 30 to 40 people there, and the spotlight blinded you. And when I first started going, if I had 5 punchlines, 4 of them would be to dead silence and also blind. So I'd be like, where am I? Like I'm in a sensory deprivation tank trying to fucking talk
Yep.
about dicks.
Get me out of here. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's nothing like a quiet crowd when you're giving your best shit out there. But sometimes you get a shit crowd. Sometimes I was in New Hampshire, and I don't know what it was. It just seemed like before we even started, like people just looked like they weren't having fun. They weren't really. I don't know if they weren't drinking much, and the energy I can tell before you went up there. So I already had my mindset was already fucked up. Plus, I was a leadoff hitter. Leadoff hitter sucks. I don't ever want to do that ever again. I like number 2, number 3, or whatever in the middle, but to start things out, man, holy shit, that's not easy.
Well, they call it the bullet for a reason.
Oh yeah.
Again, weirdly, that's my favorite spot, I think.
See,
I think it's just
different,
because when I go first, I'm thinking about my set before I go up really hard, and I'm like, all right, I gotta hit this beat. I gotta be confident here, and there's nothing distracting me. And I start the show, and I like that. I can kind of determine the evidence, but I catch myself all the time because I'm dramatically high at these shows, folks. Getting just drawn into somebody's set right before my set. Like if Wayne's up before me, I'll just be listening, doe eyes looking at Wayne, listening to him the whole time, not thinking about what I'm going to say at all. And they call me up and I'm like, oh yeah, I got to do this. Yeah. And so that I think going first eliminates at least that part for me.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
I find it really hard, and I still do this, but I get really panicky waiting. Sitting at the table waiting if you're second, third, fourth, because I can't go through it in my head what my set is, and I can never remember what the first few words are going to be, and then I start panicking. But the second you get up there, it's like everything's quiet, nobody's talking, not quiet, but nobody's talking into a microphone, so you can kind of really pay attention. But I get so fucking panicky. Like, shit, I can't remember the first word, and the first word is what starts the ball,
Yeah, it's funny. It's the same routine every time. We get nervous. We get up there, everything's fine.
Sure.
Once you get rolling, I try to always tailor it to whatever the fuck is going on, wherever I am at the time. I don't know. I can't remember the last one was. Oh, you know what? I did this thing in what do you call it, Longmeadow with Alex Mann and Rocklahoma City. They put this thing together out there. So I carpool with those guys going down there. So that was fucking beautiful. So I started with that. I had a carpool with these fucking shitheads and, blah, blah, blah. I should have heard the conversation. It was like I felt like I was in fucking kindergarten again. Like, I usually try to tie into something that, you know what I mean, to get me going and try to get a laugh that way, instead of the same old fucking boring opener,
Yeah.
That does seem like the number one style of good comedy is improv for as long as you fucking can and then get into your material. And fun, like, because it's just fun when you do your material every night to do something different. Like last night we were, it was like 5 people out of place. And I was explaining my improv in the beginning was explaining to them how that is not even close to the least amount of people I've ever done stand-up to. Because I have an argument that in stand-up you can do stand-up to negative people, because you could do stand-up to people who are like there for trivia and not even interested in you at all, and they're like, "What the fuck are you doing?" So if you do that, if you do negative people stand-up like I've done, then you can do 5 people and you feel good about it.
Negative people, I like that. Yeah. What a grind!
All right, we wrapping this motherfucker up.
Yeah, I think so. Richie, do you have any topics that you wanted to touch upon, or?
I think we'll keep going, guys. See where we are in 12 months or 18 months. Keep getting better, right?
Yeah, and hopefully keep running into each other.
Get that
it's been happening more and more frequently.
Get that right. You guys are great, man. You're doing a great job. Good camaraderie, and I hope we get to do this again. And next time we talk, we'll be booked every week, right?
Yeah,
goddamn right. And remember, everybody, if you are going to come and see one of us at a show, it's going to be a worthy step in the quest for laughs. But if you cross Richie, it's going to be a worthy step in a quest to the hospital. Good night, everybody. It was like he saw like a peacock riding a unicorn. He was like, "Oh my god!"